I love my theme song. This is, I don't know if you know the late Sparrow, the poet.
No.
Okay. I don't know. This is one of his last recordings.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
Hello and welcome, Detroit, to this week's session of Beauty in the D, where we focus on power, wealth, and style. I have to give a few quick shout outs to Giovanni McCall, also known as G, the short hair slayer who keeps me slayed, and to Mina Martinez, who handles all of my media marketing, and last but not least, the London consulting firm who sponsors and powers this show. So every week I bring the best guests, and of course I'm not going to disappoint you this week at all. So I want to make sure that you know that you are watching Beauty in the D. We are live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and other social media platforms. So please follow, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And more importantly, thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. So I have with me here today Miss Erica Smith Gomez, and I'm just going to start with reading her bio. I read bios every week, but this bio was really one that stands out of all the ones that I've read thus far, and I like because it reads like a story. So I'm going to go ahead and read the bio, and then we'll get her fully introduced. This is her bio. I'm just a girl from the south side of 8 Mile Road that many people fear to venture to, but that very same hood gave birth to some of the most original talent known to the world. Motown had no choice but to flow through my veins, but the Mo, in my case, is in motion picture. An undeniable passion for film resonated in my bones, and the need to see stories with people that looked like me excited me even more. I was born in 1979 and raised on the east side of Detroit, and I attended Cass Tech High School for 3 years. In 1997, I enlisted into the U.S. Air Force straight out of high school. While based in Abilene, Texas, in 1998, I had my oldest son, Sean Van Hosen. Am I pronouncing it correct?
Sean Van Hosen.
Okay. Having my son changed my outlook on the military, and in 1999, I was discharged and came back to Detroit. I enrolled in community college, and shortly after, I began writing children's stories. I submitted to different publishers, but only received rejection letters. So I took a break from writing, and in 2007, I got married. I welcomed my second son, D'Angelo, in 2008, and 2 years later, I found myself writing again. But I decided to venture into screenwriting. As I was educating myself and honing my screenwriting skills, I then gave birth to my daughter, Helena, in 2014. I submitted film query letters to different production companies around the country, but unfortunately, no one was interested. I again took a break from writing, and at the same time, my mother fell ill and needed a liver transplant. I focused my attention and time on her and became her caregiver. In 2018, she received a successful liver transplant, and I was finally able to have some solace during her recovery. My peace would come to an abrupt end in early 2019 when my oldest son, Sean, was killed. My life spiraled out of control, and I found myself in a dark place for a while. Eventually, I will pull myself together to launch Sean Van Productions and Sean Van Entertainment in honor of my loving son. After facing so many adversities, I decided to give myself an opportunity since others wouldn't. I promised myself that I would master my genre for any age or race and prove that Detroit has a variety of different stories to tell. Since then, I've written concepts that range from drama to fantasy, teen comedies to science fiction and animation. I have won 9 first place screenplay awards at different film festivals across the United States of America, and several finalists and semi-finalist awards. Currently, I have 2 films, actually it's 3 though, right? 3 films on Tubi and 2 upcoming projects that will be streaming soon. I also have 3 children's books on Amazon and 3 more that I'm currently having illustrated as we speak. Lastly, I go by Erica Smith Gomez, and I am continuously working to build a plethora of screenplays and children's books with a variety of unique and fresh concepts. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Erica Smith Gomez. Welcome to Beauty and the D.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. You have such, like I said, your bio. It's a story, girl. Like that's a movie, right? That's a screenplay right there.
Thank you.
Yes. So before we get right into the movies and Tubi, because you know Tubi is hot, and we in Detroit we support Tubi and we love Tubi, and I feel like the Detroit movies be some of the realest, the best. I feel like I can just resonate with the lingo, you know, of course the backgrounds and the scenery, you know, and we feel like we can be a part of the movie. But I want to start right with the Air Force.
Okay. So
What made you go to the Air Force in the first place?
I guess I kind of was over school, so I was like, you know, I want to do something different. Instead of going to college, I'm like, I want to do something different. And so I went into the Air Force.
They have the coolest uniforms, though.
They do, and they are the think tank. So, you know, I was like, okay, they're the think tank. They're the last of the last to go to war. So, yeah, that was the best.
Because when they come, they shutting it down.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. So, what hood you from?
I'm from the east side of Detroit, so I started on Promenade off of Hayes and Auto Drive.
Okay.
And then my mom and my stepdad, they bought a house over off Meringue and Cashew on Dupre.
Okay.
And so
I know that area very well.
yeah, so that's my hood, like.
That's real Detroit too.
Yeah.
And those houses over in that particular area, the architecture on those houses, I mean, it's just so different. Those are some nice brick homes over there. So you're a real Detroiter.
I am. Yeah.
Period. So, in the Air Force, how did it change? You coming from the East Side, Cass Tech too.
I know.
What was it like? I mean, just the training.
Man, the training, like, when I got to basic training, it was something else. Like, it was a mind game. So at first I was losing that mind game, but then once I realized
that it was a game,
mind game, yeah. So I successfully completed that, and I went to tech school in Mississippi.
Okay.
And they based me in Abilene, Texas, and I started working with the flight crew. So I worked to make sure that they had all their training and they were qualified to fly.
Wow, that's a big job.
It is, like, they threw me right in there with the officers. So.
Okay, so that was an experience. Were you in ROTC or anything before
No.
that? No. So I'm just trying to see, you know.
No, I went
Okay.
like with nothing. So my drill sergeant picked on me every day. Like, what do you call me? A big dummy. I was the big dummy of the flight. Yeah. It's funny now.
Okay, but it was not funny. Because I can imagine you are young and cute and fresh from Detroit. You got your little Detroit swag, I'm sure. You packed it with you. And they are picking on you.
Yeah, I got picked on.
Okay.
I was the dummy.
Well, did you get leadership training? Like, what did you? Okay.
Like, I learned a lot.
Discipline.
Yeah, a lot of discipline, paying attention to detail, integrity, a lot. Yeah, and respecting
all good things.
Leadership,
Because integrity is important.
It's very important.
I live by that. If you don't have no integrity, you don't have
nothing. Yeah.
I need to be able to know that I can turn my back and trust you, know that you're still going to do the same thing if I was not have my back turned. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So then you probably had the gift of writing for a long time.
Yeah, I think it lay dormant inside of me.
What brought it out?
Because first of all, people were like, what? When I went to the military, I was pregnant. Didn't know. Like, I got pregnant, I know it's crazy. The night of, that had to be when it happened.
That was your goodbye.
That was my goodbye. And that was supposed to be my goodbye with my boyfriend. Like, that was it. You know, I was going and starting my new life. And, yeah, so I was
much
pregnant.
For goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
It was more like, hello.
Hello. So I had my son, and I realized, like, they wanted to, like, send me to Afghanistan. And, you know, so I'm like, I can't just leave my son with anybody. Because my mom wasn't there. She had my younger siblings, so it was nothing I could do. So I got out. And when I came back, I enrolled in college, what I said I didn't want to do. And I took a course, and she had us write children's stories, and I wrote mine, and she had us read. She was like, wait, but you wrote that? I'm like, yeah, I wrote. She was like, that is great. So from that point on, like, I always wrote poetry, but from that point on,
I was gonna get to that.
Yeah, I've always written poetry.
I could tell because even I consider myself a poet as well. Even with your bio, it had like a poetic flow. Okay. Like just even with the first line. I'm just a girl from the south side of 8 Mile. That many people, you know what I mean? It has a flow to it. I mean, it just stuck out to me. It really did. I can tell you tell good stories. So you always had the ability to write poetry, but that was just like a hobby, something you just picked up and, but when you had to do this assignment, that really honed in on, hey, I can write a story, not just a few lines. Okay.
Exactly.
So, you started writing and you felt like you had a talent and then people were rejecting you.
Yes.
How did that make you feel?
I felt defeated because I wasn't really used to it because I never really put myself out there. So I kind of like shut down. I kept writing, but then I stopped submitting. I just stopped that altogether. And then I just kind of walked away from writing. But I knew, like, when I started writing the stories, I'm like, I want to write a movie. Because I love movies. That was my family time with my family. Like, like, my stepdad, we would go to the video place.
Back when we had Blockbusters.
Yeah. We would go there, like, every Friday. He would rent, like, 6 movies, and then he would dub it with the 2 VCRs.
Yeah.
So we had, like, all these movies. So I've seen so many movies. And so I was like, I want to write a movie. But I didn't know how to write a movie, so I didn't really pursue it.
I remember those days. I kind of miss those days too. The line at Blockbuster used to be long, and you'd be standing there, and you'd be like, "Oh, we got to get the movies back. We got to get them to the drop box. Oh, you got to rewind it. Because they'll charge you."
Yeah.
The good old days. So you love movies, and you continued to keep writing, even though they were rejecting you. So that talks about perseverance. I'm sure you picked up some of that along the way in the Air Force.
Yes.
Not giving up.
Yes.
Yeah. The big dummy.
Yeah,
like,
dummy.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna write my way out of this.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry to hear about your son being murdered. Did it happen in Detroit?
Well, he was hit. He was hit by a car. So, and it happened in Warren. I can't even go over there. But it happened on 9 Mile and Van Dyke in Warren in 2019, January 13, 2019.
Okay.
He was 20. Yeah.
A baby.
Yeah.
And do you think that some of your healing comes in the form of writing? Is that therapeutic for you?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Mother's Day is probably hard for you tomorrow, I'm sure.
I don't really
even want to celebrate.
No, even though I'm thankful for my mom that she's still here, So I'm thankful for that, but yeah.
And then you still got your 2 other children.
I do. Yeah.
So you got to be, you
are
thankful. Yeah, and thankful for that. I'm sure this is all a healing journey. But you named your production company after him. So that you memorializing him, does that give you some type of strength?
It does.
And energy to push on?
It does. Like, he motivates me, and that's what keeps me going. Yeah.
So the fact that you can do different genres, a lot of people, they stick to one style of, like, if you write gangster stories or gangster movies, you kind of, it's a part 1 and a part 2, and you are so different. So I'm gonna talk about the movie that I watched from beginning to end, Contract Killer. Okay, y'all, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but it's suspenseful, it's a thriller, and the ending had me all messed up. Girl, what was you on when you was writing that? Was you on some of this wine that we drinking right here? Cause
actually, no. Like, I had that concept. I probably thought about that concept probably back in, like, 2014. But I never really acted on it until I linked up with this, who was my ex-partner now, but I linked up with him. He was like, why don't you write something and you direct it? I'm like, I can't direct, But he convinced me, and so I'm like, okay. So I was like, I do have a concept. And I already have, like, 7 screenplays that were completed, but I'm like, I want to do something that's kind of what they're doing on Tubi. So that's why I went ahead and wrote that. And, I just came up with that. And
let me just tell you, that was a hell of a movie.
Thank you.
Yes. How long did it take you to write that?
Literally, because I was working, where was I working at? I think I was working at the hospital, at St. John. So at St. John on Ross. And so I was writing.
You love that East Side, don't you?
I know. I know, right? Yeah, the East Side is in my bones. But it took me maybe 7 days, and that's not...
A week?
Yeah, it probably took me a week, but not really a week because, I would do like maybe 5 hours here, 4 hours, like out,
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So that friend. Casting. How did you find the people to? And I saw that was one of that's on Homestead. Is it Homestead? Homestead
It's
Entertainment, right?
Homestead.
Dennis Reed. And when I hear that, don't,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
Dennis Reed.
yeah, I'm like, oh, this gonna be a good one. I don't know how he does it, but it's like, whatever. When I know that when I'm watching it and I hear that tone come on, I know it's gonna be a banger. You know what I mean? How did you come up with the casting, and how did you hook up with Dennis Reed?
So, believe it or not, nobody wanted to work with me. Like, nobody.
Straight up,
Yeah, no.
they just didn't know.
Yeah, because I didn't have a name. I did, like, I wrote the invite, and I was like the AD on that, and I helped out on that, but nobody really knew who I was. So I asked Marietta and Giovanna, because they both were in the invite, if they would be in Contract Healer, and they read the script and they loved it, and so I'm so thankful that they believed in me. And then my ex-partner, he knew Will Coleman, so he reached out to Will Coleman. Will Coleman liked the script, so that's how I got them, and then everybody else kind of just fell into place.
Wow. So they read it. They didn't reject it. They was like, oh, that's what's up. We want to do it. Okay. So, I got to do our station ID. Hey, you're watching Beauty and the D, where we focus on power, wealth, and style. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and other social media platforms. Please follow, share, comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. We have with us today Erica Smith Gomez, and we're just sitting here talking about her accomplishments in the motion, in the cinematography avenue. And so you got these guys to come on with Contract Healer. They read the script. They was like, it's a bomb. It's a bomb movie. Listen, go on Tubi and watch it. I'm telling you, you're not gonna believe the ending, but I will say that best friend. Can't trust these. You know what they say. So they, you did, basically they read it and were like, okay, we want to do it. And then the casting of the other people, you said, it just kind of
fell in place. Yes, I kind of got a few people to, reply and to audition. So that worked.
So when you say reply, how did you?
I reached out to, I had the email, like, he had a list of all these actors that had applied before, so I just went through, like, hey, I got this script that I'm about to start filming. I need a cast for certain parts. So a lot of people reached out to me from that. Okay. But me just posting, like, I'm having a casting call, and nobody really.
Wow, so that's how that works in Detroit.
That's how it worked for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it worked for me. And then Will put me in touch with Dennis Reed, because he knew Dennis Reed. And I talked to Dennis, and then later down the line, he saw my trailer, and it premiered.
Ah, awesome. Detroit, so I like how you put that down, the Mo, right? We were known for Motown, but now we really are getting known for motion pictures. We're really playing in that space. And how I know, I see people from different places, especially in Atlanta, commenting on our Detroit movies. Like, other people like them, like, to us, we probably feel like, because we can resonate with it, especially like I was saying before, like the language, lingo. We have our own kind of style in the way we talk to one another, like, just certain things that we say from Detroit that we know, like, first of all, what up, dog? I'm out here, like, we know our, other people are like, I'm out here. Okay, yes, I'm out here too. No, I'm out here, like, I'm getting it.
Yeah, we all have our own.
Yeah, but we got something special here. So I'm proud of you and all of the Detroiters out here that's just putting us on the map with these movies. So how long did it take to film Contract Healer?
So the DP, which was my partner, he had a full-time job. I quit my job to pursue this. I know.
Okay, hold on. Easy. Let's toast to that, because I am a serial entrepreneur myself, and that takes a lot.
It's still a lot.
To not have a job.
Yeah.
So that means I don't know about you, but I start every day with a blank sheet of paper. And it's the goal to have it filled up by the end of the day. To the point where I have run off into the next day. You just have to it's a different grind when you out here for yourself versus clocking in every day.
It is.
You know.
Very different.
What were you doing at St. John? Is that where the job that you quit? I'm assuming. Is that the job that you quit?
Yeah, that's the job that I quit. I was in I can't, where you get the supplies, the supply chain. So
Okay.
I was in supply chain, and so when the nurses and staff needed anything, we had to fill these orders and take it to them, deliver it to them.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't the friendliest people. Like, it was, they would belittle you. It was
More
insane.
belittling than the Air Force.
Yes,
Because the Air Force was playing games.
Yeah, they
These
played
people was
mind
just
games.
being
These
straight up
people-
nasty.
Yeah, yeah. And you think
Mhm.
like you're supposed to have a great bedside manner, but you're treating me like-
Yes,
how are you
imagine
treating
these
your
patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy. Me being in the Air Force, everybody makes fun of me. I've had probably like 50 jobs. Like, but I realized like it's not for me. That's why I was never happy, because I'm not a corporate America girl. That's not for me. I'm an artist, you know.
You're an artist.
And I was trying to fit myself into this box
Mm-hmm.
that where I didn't belong. And no offense to anybody who's corporate America.
Oh yeah, none
But
at all.
it's just not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like Erica Badu. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Exactly. I feel
real.
Erica Badu.
Yes. Okay, so going back, so your partner, he had a job, so you guys were having to do this basically
On the weekends.
Oh, all of this was done on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all shot in Detroit?
No, we were kind of like all over the place. Mostly in Detroit, Pontiac. We were like,
But Michigan.
yeah, it was in Michigan. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, but I really am excited. I want to know the answers to all this stuff. How do you guys choose, like, the location? Like, even the house where the main character was. I'm not going to go all into it. How do you guys choose these scenes and these locations and then put it all together?
It's kind of like, we kind of do a lot of guerrilla shooting, and that's when you really don't have the budget, you know what I'm saying, or the means. So,
Because this movie doesn't look like a low budget. I just want to say
thank
that.
you, it is.
I mean, because you're saying that, but
Yeah.
the quality of it was still very good in
Thank you.
in the storyline.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we take what we can get. Now I've learned since that movie, like I do Airbnbs, but I really like to do houses where people actually live to make it feel more realistic.
Yeah.
But with Airbnbs, I reach out to them like, hey, I'm filming a movie. Is it okay for me to use your place? You know, blah, blah, blah. And they'll say, yeah. Or they'll say,
Oh, they're
nah.
receptive.
Most of them are like, sure, you know. So that's what we do. And then since I write it, I wish I had what Hollywood has. They write it according so they know what the setup looks like.
Yeah.
You know, we don't.
Okay.
So that's what makes this even more challenging, because you don't really know what you're walking into once you start filming that day, because 9 times out of 10 you don't have access to it yet.
So when you do the Airbnbs, you have no idea
No,
what
you're just looking at the pictures, and then
You just fake it till you make it.
exactly.
You are an East Side chick.
Exactly. So,
Yep. Okay, so how many weekends did it take to do that?
So we started, I want to say May 14th of 2022, and we finished July something 2022. So it took us about 2 months, a little over 2 months to do it.
Wow, you are so creative.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about this other movie. It's Survivor of a Ghostwriter.
I know everybody says it's survival as a ghost
Oh,
writer.
I'm sorry, survival as a
everybody
ghostwriter.
says,
Okay.
well, maybe I should have made it survival of a ghost. Everybody thinks it's survival of a ghost writer.
So I like that too. Now that is like 360 from Contract Killer. Okay, this one is like a teen movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot of rap battle back and forth, a lot of rivalry battle back and forth. Who wrote them rhymes? Oh, and it has a little bit of a love story
Yeah.
in there as well. That was cute.
I'm a John Hughes fan, so
Okay.
yeah. So I didn't write those. The original scripts that were winning, I wrote.
Okay.
I wrote like cipher type raps. I had to actually get 2 battle rappers. They actually got the gritty stuff in there. Michigan and Devious. Those 2 battle rappers wrote the battle raps.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they wrote girl. The one guy had me wanting to fight.
Dan, is you talking about the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, okay.
He was something else.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some other artists, and what pieces did you write in there?
Well, I did like most of my raps were, they just didn't go. So
Okay.
the only thing that I kind of wrote was the love poem. Like I wrote the love.
Okay.
Sam, which was the main character, he played Javon.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dope artist. He wrote that. He tweaked what I wrote and he added on to it.
Okay.
And then the guy that played Trent Paris, he wrote like the final rap, most of that final rap at the end when they came in and tagged me.
Yeah.
So they both kind
Okay.
of did that, but overall, Michigan and Devious wrote basically everything.
That's what's up. And I don't know who did the outro song,
That
but that was hot.
The
That
first
was
one?
banging on the
That
way
was
out.
a
The
gangsta.
outro. Yes.
that's Michigan.
Oh yeah, he is. You dope, Michigan. Okay.
He's from Pontiac.
Okay. Yes. I was like, oh, I can see. I meant to put it on my Shazam so I could put it in my
dope.
playlist.
My mama even liked that song.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, it is. Like, for real. Okay, so, you're all, like I said in the beginning, you're all over the place. A lot of people do one or the other, and you're able to do it all. That says a lot. When is your birthday?
February 12th. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, okay. You was almost a Pisces.
You must be a Pisces.
I am.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very, very creative. So the books that you have right now on, before we even get to the books, talk to our audience and tell them how they can find you on your social media and what's popping on on Tubi right now.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, Sean, so SEAN, Van, VAN, _productions at Instagram, and Sean Van _entertainment at Instagram. And then you can find me on Facebook, Erica Smith. I think it's Erica S. Smith on Facebook. I have The Invite, that was the first movie, The Invite, Contract Healer, and Survival was a Ghostwriter. Those are all on Tubi right now. I also have a short, it's a dark comedy called Black Don't Crack. That's on Discovered TV right now.
Discovery TV?
Yeah, Discovered TV.
Discovered TV.
So it's the app that Microsoft and BET own.
I never even heard of it today.
A friend told me about it, and so I just threw my short film on there. Yeah. So that's on there. And then I have a record in time that I'm filming right now. Hopefully we'll be wrapped June 13th, and y'all should be able to see that probably in the summer. It's a TV series, the first 3 episodes.
A TV series?
Yeah, it's sci-fi fantasy. It's about a record player that takes you back in time. It's time travel. So it's like Back to the Future meets Butterfly Effect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Are you going to have a red carpet? And
I am, and I'm going to invite you.
Please do, because I will be there.
Thank you, thank you. And my books, is that what you...
Yeah, okay, so let's get to the book. So, the books, what are the titles of the books and how can people purchase them?
Okay, so they're on Amazon. They're available in Kindle and paperback. And 2 of them are based off of my son that passed away. So one is called Only Boys Can Play With My Toys because he was a little chauvinist. He's just, I don't know, he thought boys were better than girls.
Okay.
So
a lot of them do.
Yeah. Only Boys Can Play With My Toys. And then Life is a Taco, but Eternity is a Feast. And that's about my son transitioning and my stepdad, because my stepdad died 3 years ago. And he came to me in a dream right after he died, my stepdad. And he, I was telling him I was sorry, that he was gone, and he was like, it's okay. And I thought about it, I knew my son was gone. And I was like, did you see Sean? This is real quick. And he was like, he peeped in. I was like, is he okay? He was like, Sean's life was a taco, but where he's at, he's feasting now. So I'm like, what? I didn't understand it. So I looked to my sister, because she was in a dream. She was like, Sean's life was short. It was small like a taco, but where he's at, he's feasting
party.
now.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. And so I looked at my stepdad. I was like, thank you. And he was like, he smiled and he was gone. And I woke up, sat straight up, and I was crying. And I wrote that book real quick.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's for families and more so young kids who lose a sibling or a parent to help them with grieving. So.
Kids need that. I never even thought about that. Grieving for children is so much different than
because
us as adults.
My daughter was small, so I think she was like 3 or something when my son passed away. I can't remember. He was like 16 years older than her because she's only 10 now. But
what age
I know, yeah.
But look at God, how he
yeah.
So you still, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that the baby, your daughter, gave you that strength. I know it was hard.
Yeah.
I can't say I know because I haven't been there, but I am a mom, and I just know I would be devastated. And I only have one.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
that's when because I had to go to therapy. That's what my therapist told me.
Uh-huh.
A lot of her people who only have one child, that was their identity. So once they lose that one, it's really hard for them. Being that I had 2 other children, I didn't lose my identity because I'm still their mom.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Yeah, and they still needed you.
Mm-hmm.
It's still